I'll give you a red.
All right. Thank you, Miss
Thank
Sheila.
you.
Show some love for Sheila. Miss Sheila, do you have the time for Miss Yancey's speech?
5 to 7 minutes.
I had 40 to 50 minutes recorded.
Okay, so we're gonna go 40 to 50 minutes now. I think she can handle it. You know, I'm sure she's got plenty to say and plenty to talk about. All right, so I'm now going to call on her evaluator, Mr. Marty Scholes, who will give us a rundown of what to expect from Jennifer's speech. Marty, take it away.
Thank you so much. Here, Jennifer is going to present either a new speech or the same speech that incorporates some or all of the feedback received from the presentation of the first speech.
Thank you so much. We also have a word of the day, and it is apposite. Apposite. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Somebody help me out. Hold on, the computer.
Opposite.
Opposite. And it says apt in the circumstances or in relation to something. Words that are similar to it are apt, suitable, fitting, pertinent, or relevant. To use it in a sentence, it says, my daughter and I usually disagree about which clothing items are apposite for school. All right.
I think though that like apt and all of that is the opposite.
Okay.
It is the antonym of opposite. Apt would be like, she's apt to do that. Like she's for it versus opposite being, you know, the other side.
So it's the opposite of opposite.
It's the opposite of opposite. Yeah, yeah.
All right, I love it. Do you mind being the grammarian today since you are here?
Sure, I just won though. I just said it like 10 times. So sorry.
Go ahead and tap it in, tap it in. She's
Right,
going to be the opposite queen today. She'll be the opposite of the Wizard of Oz, and she'll be the opposite queen. All right. So we are now going to move on to today's speaker, Miss Jennifer K. Yancey, who is talking to us, I believe, about forgiveness. Please give it up for Miss Yancey.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. If I may, I would actually like to start off with a question. By a show of hands, who here has at some point, any point during their lives, practiced the art of forgiveness, whether it was forgiving someone or asking someone for forgiveness? Excellent. Thank you so much for your transparency. So I'm in good company. Today, I want to share with you some of the things that I've learned, still learning, regarding not so much the act of forgiveness, but the art of forgiveness. I'm going to talk about why people choose to forgive, why they choose not to forgive, why they choose to remain in a state of unforgiveness. What exactly is forgiveness, first of all? What does that look like? What does it feel like? And by feel like, I'm also going to get into what impact forgiveness can have on you physically and mentally. Likewise, what impact forgiveness or lack of forgiveness can have on you as well. So if you would indulge me for a moment. One thing that's funny is that one of the local organizations that I support, Poetry 719, every single Monday, they post a writing prompt. And this week, the writing prompt was, write a poem about something you're not good at. But instead of a poem, I just decided to do a speech about it instead. What is forgiveness exactly? The dictionary definition of forgiveness that I received was the act or process of forgiving or being forgiven. Why do people choose to forgive? Actually, first, I want to get into why people choose not to forgive, because that's very easy. The lack of forgiveness is actually human nature, very easy to do. Why do we choose not to forgive? Maybe because we think by forgiving someone's transgression, we think that it's showing weakness, that that's a message we're sending to our transgressor, to the offender, that what they did was okay. And a lot of people feel that way. there's a consensus. And in talking to people, a lot of people seem to feel, a lot of people going through life holding on to things that don't serve them for these very purposes. They feel like if they choose to forgive, that that other person has won, that they've given up, that they've given in. On the other end of the spectrum, why do people choose forgiveness? Why do they decide on forgiveness? It's a pretty difficult thing to decide on, right? So a lot of people choose to forgive because they want to free themselves from whatever it is that doesn't serve them, holding on to whatever that transgression was, holding on to whatever it is that that person ought against them. Because let's just be honest, it's very likely that the person who offended you has moved on with his or her life and is not even thinking about you, beloved. That being said, why let that take up space in your mind? Why let that take up space in your spirit and going through life holding on to something like that? You know, just cluttering your brain with that memory or with that feeling, with that action. Instead, just releasing it and just moving on with your life and finding a sense of peace. But again, what does that look like? I want to share with you also something new that I've learned. I've learned a couple of things about what unforgiveness does to your body, what it does to your mind, what it does to your spirit, but more in particular, what it does to your brain. This article I found, a 2018 article I found entitled "A Brain on Forgiveness," not to be confused with that 1980s commercial, "This is your brain on drugs." No, this is your brain on, this is your brain on forgiveness or unforgiveness. Did you know that stress, when you're stressed, that actually defaults to a state of unforgiveness? Did you know that? Because I certainly didn't. And I guess that would be one of the reasons why stress has that kind of impact on me. Because again, as I said in the beginning, I'm a work in progress. So it comes from hostility, it's born out of hostility. And did you also know that stress and unforgiveness, it actually shrinks your brain? Did you know that? I don't know about you, but I don't want a small brain. You know, when you reach a certain age in your life, you know, a lot of things start to, you know, gravity starts to take hold, you know, little crow's feet, laugh lines, things like that. Your skin is not exactly dewy and your hair is not flowing like it used to when you were in your 20s. So one of the last things I need to worry about is a shrinking brain, okay? And that's what holding grudges does. So another thing that stress and unforgiveness do, it's a combination, they're a tag team. Stress from unforgiveness can lead to future health problems. Cortisol can build up. Dangerous levels of cortisol can build up in your brain and cause additional health problems. And of course, as we all know, these stressors can also impact relationships, whether it's relationships with family members, spouses, children, loved ones, friends, and no one wants that. So also when in a state of unforgiveness, it robs you of your courage to communicate kindness. It kind of holds you back. It prevents you from holding that, you know, from being able to express those true feelings, because it also comes from a state of pride. It's that wall that blocks you off. So, but on the other hand, the ability to forgive allows you to offer kindness without demands or enjoy perceptions not colored by past perspectives that would otherwise cloud your judgment. So remember back in the beginning when I was talking about, when I asked the question, have you ever at any time in your life asked forgiveness or had to forgive someone else? One thing I want to add to that is that at some point in your life, when it comes to forgiving others, that also includes forgiving yourself. So that's one challenge I leave with you is think back on something that you're holding on to that doesn't serve you purpose, and just let it go. It's a walk. It's a long walk. It's a journey. It's a process. And that's one thing that I think that people don't seem to understand. But again, I leave you with just challenge yourself and just free yourself. Madam Toastmaster.
All right. That was a wonderful speech. Thank you so much. I think we all need some more forgiveness in our lives. So let's take a moment to provide some feedback to Miss Yancey. You can go ahead and send it to her in a private chat or send it in an email if you feel like it's too long or you want to get your scribbles together. Like, that's probably what I need to do. This was such great content. I really enjoyed it. So I'll be quiet for a moment so that way Marty can do any last evaluating. He is the opposite of me. I probably need noise to think straight. He probably needs quiet, is what I would imagine. I think I spelled it right. I don't know. Apposite. Yes, I did. Okay. All right. Since we only have one speaker today, I'm not sure what happened to Nathan. He was supposed to be our second speaker, but we'll find out maybe next week, and maybe he'll be a speaker next week. But I figure maybe we can just go ahead and do a quick round of table topics. Is that okay with you all? Show of hands. All right. So quick table topics. I'll call first on Shantae. What would you say is the opposite of Shantae? What would be the opposite of being Shantae Hardesty? Show her some love.
Thanks for that. That's a hilarious question. I've never really thought about that before, but the opposite of me would be a dormouse. I am a lion. I am not a dormouse. And when we're looking at personality and energy and enthusiasm, I bring that. That's my gig. That's what I do. And when I see reticent people who are the complete opposite of me, when I see good friends of mine that exhibit those characteristics that are at the far opposite end of the spectrum to where I am at, it makes me grateful for who I am and makes me grateful for who they are. One thing I've learned is it takes all kinds in this world to make it go around. The world would be an incredibly annoying place if everybody was as verbose as I. And it would be an incredibly boring place if everybody was as quiet as those dormouse personalities that I often see and sometimes envy. One of my best friends out here in Colorado, her name's Rebecca, and she happens to be my manager. And she works so hard to avoid confrontation. She never wants to hurt anybody's feelings or step on anybody's toes. And while I think that's such an admirable quality to have in a person, I have learned that I have to watch myself in pulling back and just making sure that I'm not being too aggressive, using my words in a way that don't cut or hurt other people. It took me many decades to get where I'm at now, and I'm super grateful to be a lion and not a dormouse, though my appreciation for those people is great. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Great answer. The next question I'm going to ask. Very often I do exercises in my workshops where you're doing an opposite. And not an opposite, but I think we're going to go with the actual O for opposite. So let's see. Sheila, can you manage to time yourself, or should we grab a timer for you?
That would be opposite if you could do that.
That would be. I would like to know what would be the opposite of a bad day for you?
So what would be a good day for me, right? There we go. A good day is a day that I get up and it's sun shining and I get to take my dog for a walk and I have the park to myself so I can let her off leash like we're not supposed to do, but if no one's there, and I love to play fetch on the turf field with her, love to watch her jump one jump and she catches it. It's awesome. So if I can have the park to myself for half an hour, that's a great start to the day. And then if I can go swimming and I have my own lane and I don't have to share, I love that too. That's a good day. And then if it's just about 75 degrees all day with the sun shining, that's awesome. So, and then just have a nice sunset, sit out on the back deck and watch the sun and the clouds go by. That's a good day for me. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Miss Sheila. Miss Chanita, if you can unmute yourself, what would be the who or what kind of partner would be the most fitting or opposite for you?
Partner, meaning life partner, is what I'm going to talk about. A life partner would be a billionaire. And he would be definitely a native Black American. That's what I prefer, because he would have, experiences that we would share from growing up and being raised in our culture. We would share those same experiences. But I want him to have developed himself to the level of financial freedom so that he would be able to be the type of man that would be able to be a partner for me. Because it seems like men who don't have financial freedom don't get along with me very well. Yeah. So I'm looking definitely for a man that has already acquired financial freedom, definitely. Yeah. So that we don't have to experience the struggles that, not having enough to go out to eat, to go on vacations and really enjoy one another. Unfortunately, it takes money. It seems it takes money to really have a great relationship like that. So, a billionaire.
Thank you so much. It sounds like one of my favorite quotes, that romance with no finance is nonsense. I'm sure you could agree with that. All right, so let's see. We still have some time left, so let everybody get a little dab of fun. All right, Marty, unmute yourself. Mr. Marty, please tell us, what would be your ideal career? Take it away.
That's a good question. I'm actually in the middle of a job hunt right now, and I'm having to answer that very question. I don't know about career, because career envisages a long time period that we're talking about. But my next role, I'm actually looking for one where I can spend a lot of time in front of people, yet get deep into some technology. And I was on the phone with a gentleman this morning, and I was back and forth emailing somebody else later this morning. It's really looking like there's a lot out there. There's a lot of things that are in decline. Sure. I mean, COVID's been tough for everybody, but there are a lot of opportunities out there, and I'm just out cranking away trying to get to them. But to answer your question, what I really want to do, I love being able to explain deep technological concepts to people in a way that allows them to be able to use technology more effectively. And that's exactly what it is I'm looking to do. Unfortunately, there are not a lot of companies in Colorado Springs where that makes a lot of sense. That's a bad side. The good side is that Sheila just held up the green card, so I can quit rambling and say that what I'm most excited about is, in my field, most people can work remotely. Thank you very much, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much. I can see you now probably being one of those speakers at one of those big conferences where you're telling us how we should use technology in our business or something like that. I can totally see you doing that. And like you said, everything can be remote today. All right. Did everyone get a chance to answer a question? Miss Yancey, would you like to get in on the fun?
Sure. What do you got?
And I seen Shantae point at me, so I'm gonna let you ask me a question, Shantae. All right. So question. If there was a such thing as a utopia, a perfect world, what would your perfect world be like?
My utopia or perfect world would be a world where there was no want, there was no struggle, there was no grief, there was no pain, there was no apathy, there would be nobody in the median in the middle of the street heading towards I-25 with a cardboard sign saying, hungry, anything helps, God bless. In a utopia, everyone would see each other equally. In a utopia, everyone would show unconditional love without the possibility of expecting anything in return. At least nothing material, nothing that they can benefit from other than just the receipt of unconditional love and mutual respect and being treated with dignity. That's what a utopia looks like to me. A utopia where there are billionaires, where everybody has freedom, freedom from want, freedom from grief, freedom from unforgiveness, freedom from hunger, freedom from illness. There was no COVID. So that to me, in my mind's eye, is what a utopia looks and sounds like. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing your world with us. I am now going to pass this over really quick to Miss Shantae, who has a question for me to answer. Take it away, Miss Shantae.
Well, thank you, darling. And I have a question. What is your favorite thing to do all by yourself with nobody else, just you?
What do I like to do all by myself? Thank you for that question. I think dance is probably the first thing that came to mind. I was thinking party, like here at my grandparents' house, I don't leave too often. I leave some, but I try to stay close by. So I found myself about a week or so ago, I was outside with my little Bluetooth speaker, playing my rap music and some reggae music and some rock music. I was just like playing all the songs that I wanted to hear. And I was just dancing and just having a good time. I had my little drink. You couldn't tell me anything. I was in heaven by myself. I think I am my best company. I am cool being by myself. I'm cool doing a lot of things by myself. The only thing that I don't care to do by myself is to eat, because I love to cook. I love to serve people. I love to see them eat the food and enjoy it, hopefully, you know. But other than that, let me dance by myself. Unless you are a good salsa dancer, then hit me up. Salsa, bachata, merengue, all of that. You can spin me around. I like all of that. All of that. Any kind of dancing, no. I'll do it all. I'll cha-cha slide. I'll ballroom dance by myself. It doesn't matter. I got this. I will now pass this back over to Shantae really quick.
Well, that's awesome. I love to do things by myself too. I think I'm my own best company. I have a great time. It would be hard to give up being single. I'll tell you that. So great answer. I appreciate it. It's going to be hard to choose my favorite table topic today. I'll tell you that.
Yes, so please go ahead and submit your favorite table topic answer. Let's see, let's submit it to, in other clubs, the timer for whatever reason is the person. So Sheila, we're gonna designate you to accept the votes. All right, so I think we've had enough time for Marty to scramble around and have some notes and think and ponder and even come up with something witty to say. So we're gonna go ahead and give the floor to him. Marty, take it away.
Thank you so much. Jennifer, I'm going to jump to the end real quick and then come back and then build back up to it. Is that okay? Is that all right? Okay, good.
Sure.
You are really taking off as a speaker. You're becoming much more authentic as a speaker. And I'll talk more about that later, but it's so exciting to see you really progress as you speak. Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good, You started off talking about forgiveness. Fantastic topic. That really was. You had a great structure. You had our interest. Everybody was totally engaged. Your eye contact was amazing. I know so many times so many people are talking, and just kind of wandering all over, but you were dead on right there. Great job on that. Hard to do. It's awkward because there's people here moving on my screen and I can't see them when I'm looking at the camera, but you're getting that under control. That's great. What I liked about the way you handled the topic was you didn't come in with a hard, this is the way it has to be. You really explored it. You talked about, forgiveness, and some people say this and some people say that, and these are reasons for not forgiving and these are reasons for forgiving. I think that really shows a level of, I don't want to use the word maturity, but really maturity in, not as a person, but in the speaking process, because you're able to step back and kind of talk about different perspectives on how people are looking at a topic. And you really allowed us to explore it, not just show up with your one thing that's the one truth. You really allowed us to explore that. I thought that was fantastic. You ended with a call to action, another great thing to do. Asked us to go out and try to experience it. I will, though, point out something that bugged me a little bit. I didn't really hear a good definition of forgiveness other than the act of forgiving, which seemed a little circular. So what is forgiveness? And maybe I keyed in on that because I struggle with that a little bit. I'm one of those people who says, no, I don't want to signal that this is okay to whoever did okay. I can put it behind me and move on with my life, but I'm certainly not going to say, you know what, Joey, it's all right. That's a common issue, apparently. And I was hoping you would say, so here is what forgiveness is. Some people think it's this, some people think it's that, but this is what it really means. I was hoping to hear that, and I didn't. So that's the one thing I would ask you to look at. And along those lines, you discussed why to forgive.
You're muted.
You muted yourself.
Oh, did I really? How long ago?
Just about 3 or 4 words ago.
Oh, thought you were going to say 3 or 4 minutes. That would have been awkward. Wow, that's impressive. I don't know how I did that. So at any rate, you discussed why to forgive, but not how. So let's talk about how and what that really means. Overall, I thought this was just a great topic. It was truly engaging. It resonated with everybody here. Talked about forgive enables kindness without demands. I thought that was a great quote there. And you were genuine. You were authentic. As people progress through Toastmasters, I'm by no means an expert, but I've been here long enough that I've seen it. And I just love it when it happens. People move away from more topics. They move away from topics that are really well defined and hard, and move into much more mushier topics where they're explored. And one of my favorite things about seeing somebody get better in Toastmasters, and I'm seeing this with you, is that I can see more of the genuine Jennifer, right? Not the polished, I'm nervous, I got to do this just right and use the right words and never say but it feels much more like a genuine fireside chat conversation. I think that is awesome. And I would just say, keep going, keep after it, because I love hearing you talk. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much. That was a phenomenal evaluation. I think we all took something away from that and felt good about it. Thank you. Do we have a table topics winner?
We have a tie between Jennifer and Mimi.
Well, I'm going to give it to Jennifer because I really enjoyed her answer. Thank you all. Thank you all for participating. Thank you all for showing up. I know it's hard to show up week after week. We have other things that we sometimes would rather do, or just to take a break. But I want to congratulate you all for being committed to yourself and being committed to your personal and professional journey. That's what brings us here. That's what brought us here. And sometimes I think we need to remember, why did we join in the first place? I know I personally joined because I wanted to get these letters on my name, but the value I have walked away with over these past few years is tremendous. And I totally agree with you, Marty, with the whole, when people have been in for a while, it's like it's something just drops away. And we definitely saw that today in Jennifer. We're starting to see that in all of our newer members. It's like you all are just growing and budding. It's like, oh, my babies. All right, so let's see. Do we have any announcements? I know I have an announcement from Sandy. I have to find it. So in the meantime, if somebody will unmute and announce anything, something to give me about 30 seconds.
You know, there's club officer training tomorrow, right?
There we go. Tell us more.
I got roped into being Toastmaster. I don't know what I'll be doing or where I'll be doing or how I'll be doing, but I know I am doing something for the club officer training tomorrow. Deb Horowitz is coordinating it. That's all I know.
Okay. So that is what she mentioned, is that she's going to be forwarding us an email about the makeup training. I do not see an email in my mailbox with that information, but what I do know is that we can always go to d26toastmasters.org. That's D as in divine, 26, the number 26, toastmasters.org, and go to the calendar, and it always has what the events that are coming up listed there. You can even add it to your Google Calendar if you want, and those few events will pop up there. So today is, what is today? Okay, so it is tomorrow at 6 o'clock, from 6 to 8 p.m. and it is a Zoom. You do have to register. So if you missed the training, or if you are just interested in hearing about some of the different roles and what the roles and responsibilities and resources that are available, go ahead and go to the training.
I want to jump in and say that I was given some advice early in my Toastmasters journey, and I didn't take it, and I regret it. And that is, go to the training. Even if you're not an officer, just sit in the corner and kind of watch and see how the machinery works and what people are doing. If you have the time at all, it's a very short drive because it's Zoom. You don't have to worry about gas. And if you got the time, instead of watching TV, or whatever else you're doing, again, I would encourage you to go and just watch it and see what's going on. See if an officer role's right for you down the road. Maybe not, but at least gives you some level of immersion there.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree. The very first TLI that I went to, which is Toastmaster Leadership Institute, I went to the combined training just so I could see what was what. And that way you really can see, do I want to do that, or what will allow me the most opportunity to expand? There is also district leadership available if anyone is interested in being an area director, and that's where you oversee a few clubs, usually about 4 clubs. Please let me know if you're interested in that, and I can put you in contact with the right person. Maybe even Marty might be able to. He's probably got something to say on that. Help us out, Marty.
Could you give us a little, does anybody here have any experience as an area director recently? Oh, Mimi, yes, of course.
So as area director was actually pretty fun. I oversaw 4 clubs, including our club. I got lucky. And my job was to visit the clubs periodically, to check to see what they were doing or how they were doing, to serve as a liaison between the club and the district leadership. And we do an evaluation. It's a report that you have to do twice a year. And the report is very simple, fill in the blank. It asks the questions, you put it in. And you make an opportunity to network and expand your network when you're doing this as well. You also get to see the different types of club, because please believe every Toastmasters meeting is different. Every club has a different personality and a different experience. And we have the best, of course, because we are the inspirational speakers. Boom, boom, clap, boom, boom, clap. Yeah. Do we have any other announcements? Go for it, Miss Janita. Oh, I see Jennifer. Whoever's unmuted, go for it.
This will be quick. So I did get an email from District 26 about the makeup dates for the TLI. So there's also subsequent dates on August 6th, the 16th, and the 19th. I don't know if anyone else got that email.
Maybe so. Do you mind forwarding it to inspirational-speakers@googlegroups.com, please, ma'am? So that way we know for sure everybody has it. That would be super awesome. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Miss Janita, take it away.
I do want to make the announcement that because of Toastmasters giving me the what's the word, confidence
Yes.
to speak up. I have been invited to a panel. So there I am amongst the learned PhDs.
Look at you. Go ahead. Give her a round of applause for that. That's what we do.
Saturday, August the 1st.
All right. That is awesome. That is super awesome. When is that again? Can you put it in the chat box for us? Or if you have a link, put it in the chat box for us, please.
Sure.
So that way we can check that out. That is awesome. And let's make sure that we're supporting each other outside of Toastmasters. We are a tribe. We are a family. And we're here to support each other through this. Speaking of something that I've been meaning to mention, I may have mentioned it before, but in the pathways, there is a project called Managing Meetings Online. I want to say it may be in level 4. Marty, do you know? Help. Okay. I'm going to check really quick, I think. But if you are Toastmaster, serving as Toastmaster is managing a meeting online. So I want to encourage you all to go through the coursework for that particular thing, because you can jump ahead, but jump to the managing an online meeting, go through the course module, and then when you're Toastmaster, you can check that off of your list because you will be managing an online meeting. So I want to remind you all of that. And since we have a little bit of time, I want to show you all some things, show you really quick on Easy Speak. When you are signing up to be a speaker, it's very important that you come in and request a speech. You can start right here where it says my participation. I swear y'all can see my screen even though I have not clicked share screen. How about that? Let me show you really quick. But it's important that you put in your information for the Toastmaster and also for whoever is going to be entering the roles for the week. So you can start off by at the top clicking on my participation and sign up for meetings. That's one way you can get there. There's several ways to get there. So if you want to be speaker, and I can't see because of this little thing blocking my way, the Zoom thing. Okay. So for example, if I wanted to be a speaker next week, and this, you see request speech, click on request speech. Even if you don't know your speech title right away, you can put to be announced, to be determined. What's important is that we have your workbook speech. So find what path you may be working on in pathways and click what your next speech would be. Let's see, delivering social speeches. Put in some preferred dates, at least one, but it'd be helpful if you go ahead and put in some extra ones just in case. And then click save. So that way we can pull your speech up. If you are curious of what should be included in my speech introduction, what goes in a speech introduction really quick is the topic, your qualification on this subject, the benefit, and I said that out of order, the topic, the benefit, your qualifications to talk to us about this, and your name. Very simple 4-step introduction. Your introduction needs to be to the Toastmaster. Make sure you get your evaluation resources to your evaluator ahead of time, which I want to thank Jennifer for getting that to Marty, because Marty was prepared with her information. Marty, thank you for being prepared as the evaluator. I want to say it's both people's responsibility. I feel like it's my responsibility as evaluator to make sure I have the tools to evaluate the speaker that I've been assigned to. And as speaker, it's my job to get the stuff to the evaluator. But what you need to get to the Toastmaster is your speech. Because we don't know sometimes if a person can work their way around Easy Speak, I suggest sending it to them in a private chat once we get on here, or send it to them in a direct email. Okay? Do we have any questions? Any questions, concerns, suggestions?
I'm going to want to spend some time with you over the next coming weeks and just delve into that a little bit more one-on-one. I'm technologically challenged, my friend. So, I mean, all of that looks great, but a little bit of practice and hands-on training always helps me.
Yes, well, we've been talking about trying to do a new member orientation to go through how do you navigate Easy Speak? How do you navigate the Pathways website? Because you kind of just get thrown in and not everything is self-explanatory. All right. Last week, I think we talked about mentors, and I want to remind you to send me an email of what it is that you think is your strong suit, that you would feel comfortable mentoring someone or being called upon to answer something. I really would appreciate that. You can send it to IamJamia, that's JAMIA @gmail.com. And just let me know if it's just one thing that you feel strong at. Let me know. It could be speaking, it could be off the camera, on the camera, it could be administrative, whatever it is. If you have something that you know that you can share, please share it with us, okay? Next week, we have a meeting. How about that? Yes, that is correct. We have a meeting and we need speakers and we need Toastmaster and we need roles to be fulfilled. So let's check out next
I'll
week's
be the
meeting.
timer.
Is that Miss Chanita?
Yes.
Awesome, thank you. Okay. All right. No. I'm pulling up the screen to make sure no one has already signed up for something. Okay, that way I'm not double booking. All right, who would like to speak? Anybody currently here want to be speaker or Toastmaster? Please unmute yourself and let me know.
Toastmaster.
All right, go for it. I love it. The more you speak, the better you get, the more confident you feel.
May I speak?
Yeah, go right for it. Shantae, we need to get you signed up on Pathway. So if you haven't heard from me by tomorrow, what's today, Wednesday? If you haven't heard from me by tomorrow, please reach out to me in any kind of way. Text me, call me, email me, something. Contact me so I can make sure that we can see about getting you set up, okay?
I am worst in my communication by email. I'm best on Facebook and text and phone, just so you're aware.
Okay, so text me. That would probably be the best bet for me, is send me a text message. Okay. Marty, what are you gonna do next week?
Whatever you need me to.
Let's see. Something you haven't done in a while. You haven't been general evaluator in a while. So will you do that, please, sir?
I would be honored.
Thank you. All right. Who else is on the line? Miss Sheila, will you be with us next week?
Yes, I believe so.
What would you like to do?
I can do the table topics.
Awesome. I got Sheila for Miss Table Topics. Okay. Anybody else on the line that I did not call on? I got Miss Jennifer Nancy. I got Shanita, Shantae, Marty, Sheila. Oh, I need to put myself in for something. I'll figure out something. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you for being here today, and I will see you next week. If you have any questions about anything, contact us. Feel free to reach out to me, reach out to Sandy, reach out to the person you think is good at what it is that you are looking for. But reach out, because we are family, we are a tribe, and we're here for each other. All right. So inspirational speakers, boom, boom, clap, boom, boom, clap. Have a great day. Love y'all.
Bye.